Italian Football Podcast.
Let's have a look then, before we finish, new players to watch out for in the Serie A this season. So these are players who are not players that we already know, like Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia and Chiesa and Lautaro and players like this. These are players that could be new signings or kind of players that are hidden gems or players that are emerging. So I've come up with a list. So Gabri Veiga at Napoli, if he joins, definitely one to watch out for. He was a top scoring midfielder in Serie A, in La Liga, last season for Celta Vigo. He's got a great long shot, and I've seen quite a bit of him. But also the people that I've spoken to all think that he's got the potential to go right to the top. So I think he's definitely one very exciting player to watch out for. Then you've got kind of like the unknown signings like Nathan and Jan Bisek, very young. Can they emerge? You've got Marcus Thuram, as we discussed.
I expect big things from him. I really expect things from Marcus Thuram, and to kind of fill the gap that Dzeko left. I mean, people looked at Thuram as some sort of alternative to Lukaku. No, I look at Thuram as the replacement for Dzeko and Arnautovic to be the replacement to Lukaku.
I see it the other way around.
Thuram to replace Dzeko and Arnautovic to replace Lukaku.
Yeah, I see it the other way around. I see Arnautovic as the great aerial threat and from in the box, putting crosses in, and I see Thuram as kind of running the channels and being a battering ram. But we'll see. The American gang, Weah, Pulisic, Musa. Can these Americans become big stars?
I think Pulisic and Musa, I expect good, important things from. Weah, for me, is a little bit unknown because it's a new role for him as well, isn't it?
He's done all decently in pre-season, actually.
Yeah.
To be fair, he's done decently.
Yeah.
The other speedsters at Milan, Okafor, Chukwueze, certainly to watch out for. All the new signings at Milan that we went through before, Loftus-Cheek.
Chukwueze, I'm really excited to see what he does.
Yeah, well, we saw what he did to Bayern Munich. He knocked them out of the Champions League, didn't he? Not last season, the season before.
He's got this kind of, it's the potential there to be an absolute, superstar, isn't it? He's
lightning quick. El Bilal Toure is also lightning quick.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous the pace he's got. So he's definitely someone I'm very excited to see how he does. And Scamacca as well, back in Serie A. It's good to have him back. Let's see how he can do. We want him to have a big season also for Italy, for the Italy national team ahead of the Euros. Undika and Aouar at Roma, of course, that we mentioned. And then we've got Parisi at Fiorentina, which could be an interesting one for Parisi. Like, how do they manage that dynamic with Biraghi? Whether you like Biraghi or not, he's still one of the better left backs in Serie A, and he's a symbol and captain of Fiorentina.
He's a captain of Fiorentina, yeah.
So,
and it's funny too. In our deep dive with Niccolò Misol, he said that they have the same agent as well, Parisi and Biraghi. So
I suppose they will play twice a week, so they will have plenty of time to rotate. Retegui. Now he's going to be very interesting to see how he does it. Genoa are going to be a very interesting team, exciting team to watch this season. Just back up from Serie B, they're back where they belong. We love having
finally. And they've done some interesting things as well. I really like Retegui. I like Alamaturo. No, I like what Genoa done. I think they're going to finish in mid-table somewhere. I don't see them going down.
Yeah. Well, he started well, Retegui. He scored 2 in his debut. He scored within 60 seconds of his debut. So I think he'll score quite a fair few goals.
He's my dark horse to become capocannoniere, Retegui.
Well, you never know. Does he take the penalties? I think he does that. I think he did in Argentina. Yeah. I think he did, yeah. Okay, Kamada in Lazio, obviously very high-scoring midfielder. Frank Lampard kind of runs into the box, isn't he?
In a Maurizio Sarri system. I mean, goddamn. No, I think Kamada, Isaksen are going, especially Kamada. I'm expecting big things from him, and I'll be very disappointed if he doesn't. I think he could be one of those, the signing of the season, given that he came on the free transfer as well. If you take everything into consideration, how much he cost, he came on a free. So Kamada, I expect big things from. And Isaksen, well, ask Lazio how he was playing against him.
Yeah, in the Europe last season, absolutely. Yeah.
He was a handful.
And Castellanos as well. And right, I've got two more to watch out for. Giorgi Kvernatze at Frosinone, who's been labelled the new Kvaratskhelia. He was wanted by Napoli earlier this year. Actually, he also came from Dynamo Batumi, which is where
certain Kvaratskhelia,
where Kvara came from as well. He also plays as a left attacker, which is where Kvara plays from, and he also likes cutting in and curling into the back, into the far top corner as well. So he could be an interesting one to watch at Frosinone. And Frosinone also has what's his name, the attacker that we were tipped off about by one of our patrons in the Q&A on Tuesday, Casso as well. So yeah, Frosinone, maybe they could be quite exciting in attack on the wings this season. The other player I want to pinpoint, this is a player that a friend of mine who does scouting told me about, Mohamed Kaba, who Lecce signed this week from Valenciennes from 3 million. Now, my friend described him as the best midfield destroyer outside of Europe's first divisions, and because Valenciennes play in Ligue 2 in France. So he's coming in to replace Hjorman. He's a big guy, destroyer. He breaks with the ball and strides forward and drives forward, and he's someone to watch out for. So keep an eye on him. He could be one of those kind of breakout players. Then we have other players already in Serie A, but kind of emerging stars that could really make the big breakthrough this season. So we've got Simone Pafundi at Udinese, Tommaso Baldanzi at Empoli. So these two were the Under-20 World Cup. Baldanzi, I guess you could say, it's already kind of made the breakthrough, but he could move on to another level, couldn't he, potentially, this season, albeit in not a very good Empoli attack, which won't help him. But also in Empoli, a player that I really like, and a player that Lazio actually were looking at, Jacopo Fazzini. I like this guy, what I've seen of him, central midfielder. So I think he could move on. I think he's going to get a move to a bigger club within the next year or so. Ricci, player that you've always loved, Nima, Samuel Ricci, who also Lazio won. Lazio won all the young Italians. He's certainly someone to look out for, as is Rovella, another young Italian at Lazio who's moved from Juventus. I'm expecting big things from him this season, Rovella. Milan.
Samuel Ricci he's a Torino still, no?
Sorry?
Ricci is at Torino still, no?
Yeah, that's what I said. Did I
I
not
thought
say
you said
that?
Lazio. Sorry.
No, I said a player that Lazio wants.
Okay. Sorry, I misheard. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Then at Milan, Malik Thiaw. I'm expecting him to move on to another level this summer. Malik Thiaw. I think he's won his first team place from Kalulu. He's a first choice defender now, so he can really make that concrete and really, he's got the attributes, hasn't he, to be a really dominant centre back, cut out the mistakes, and so I'm looking forward to see him. Dean Huijsen at Juventus, very, very talented young teenager. It'd be interesting to see how much game time he gets. Let's be honest, Juventus' centre backs are not the best. They could be a place there for him if he can emerge. Cambiasso at Juventus, as I said, left wing back. He's made that position his own in pre-season. So I've always liked him. I think he's a very, very unique, unorthodox player. He says that Cancelo is his idol. I remember watching him play right back last season, also for the Under-21s, and the way that he played, cutting in from the right-hand side onto his left foot and running diagonally across the pitch. Like, I've very rarely seen fullbacks do that kind of stuff. Very, very unique player. Almost no one I've seen like him. So, yeah, let's see how he does. Samuel Illing Jr. at Juventus as well, plays probably going to be competing for the same position with Cambiasso. And Valentin Carboni at Monza is another one. Is he still owned by Inter? Carboni,
yeah, he's on loan at Monza. I'd probably add Christian Aslani to this list as well. You pretty much got all the players that I was going to say, except for Christian Aslani. I really this is the season for him that he needs to start showing. I think last season was just to learn, but this season I expect him to seriously challenge as well for a starting lineup and playing much more and impressing as well.
Yeah, the other thing I hope is that I really, really, really hope, I don't expect it to happen, but I really hope that some of Italy's under-19 and under-20 stars who did so well this summer, under-19s, winning the Euros, under-20s against the final. I really hope that they get chances this summer. So we know the ones like Baldanzi, who well, but Pafundi, I really hope he does. Matteo Prati, who's about to join Cagliari He's gone up from the Serie D, I think, to Serie A in the space of a year. I really hope he gets game time. But also the others like Luis Hassa, Michael Coyote at Fiorentina, Vignato at Monza, Pizzilli at Roma, Luca Lipani, these players. I really hope that they can get some time. If it's not at their current clubs, but loaned out to another Serie A club and get some game time, because they've shown they've got really great ability, but we've got to give these guys a chance. So that's what I really hope.